I am, yep.
Okay, good. So I think we have finished the module 1, all the lab. So before going for the next module, I would just like to understand, do you have any question, any query, any suggestion? Is it going too slow, too fast? Anything?
No, I think it's going fine right now.
All right. So just let me know if you have anything. Don't hesitate to tell me anything. If I'm going too fast or something, let me tell that also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the next module in which we are talking about user management. So here we'll discuss what is user, what is the group, what is role, how they are related to each other. Okay. And like how you can assign, how to create the new user, how to assign the user with the group, then how to assign the role to the new group, and then how to create the assignment rule based on certain conditions. So basically when the incident or any request get created and you want some rule so that the ticket will get assigned to the specific group based on that role, based on that rule. So how to configure that rule, that also we'll discuss here. Okay. So first you need to understand, as I said earlier, uh, user is a form, right? The way incident is formed, user is also one of the form, and every form is associated with one table in the backend, right? So here user is a system table, means user table is created at the time of installation. The user form is already created when you install or when the ServiceNow instance is ready. So this user form is the front end form for the end user, but actually in the backend, it is mapped to the sys underscore user table. Okay. So if you go to the data dictionary of this service now, if you go to the ServiceNow database, you will see the table name sys underscore user there. So this sys underscore table underscore user is a table which is nothing but the form, user form in the front end. Okay. So you can view their own profile. The user can see their own profile in, if you go to that application navigator, in the self service and my profile. So here you will see what is your profile. Okay, I'll show you that. So user is basically a record in the sys underscore user table. These are the system table. So at the time of ServiceNow installation, you will see this table was automatically created in the system. User don't create it. Okay. And the user, which is means how the user authentication sub means what are the methods, user authentication methods supported in ServiceNow. The first and very simple one is a local database, means you are managing all the user in the ServiceNow user table, sys underscore user table. When the user login, the system will check whether the record is exist in the sys user table or not. It will match the password. If it is true, then it will allow you the user to log in. So that is a very simple, straightforward method. Now there is another method called multi-factor, LDAP, SAML, OAuth, authentication, and digest token. So these are the additional methods which is supported by ServiceNow for user authentication. Okay, so here I have explained each of the method in detail. Local database, as I said, the username and password in their user record in the instance database. The record get created in the database in that instance. Authentication is being done in the by the ServiceNow itself, and it is says okay, the user is authenticated, allow him to get in or reject. Multi-factor means the username and password in the database is stored, but there is an additional layer, and the passcode is sent to the user's registered mobile that has got Google authentication installer. This is another method. So if you want, in addition to the username and password stored in the database, you can also have additional kind of OTP thing, one time password. Okay, so that also you can add. The another method is LDAP. So this is a common LDAP method. The username and password are there in the LDAP account, which has matching user account in the database. So there is a sync up between LDAP and ServiceNow database. So every maybe 24-hour, 12-hour, whatever frequency you have configured, the LDAP changes are transferred or mirrored into the ServiceNow database. So this sync up is happen automatically as per the configuration. Another is SAML. So the username and password configured in SAML directory, identity provider account is there, and which has then matching account in your database again. So instead of LDAP, now you are using SAML, where it is again mirror the data user records. Then O authentication 2.0 method, the username and password of O authentic identity provider, which has matching user account in the database. And the digest token, the encrypted digest of the username and password in the user record. So this is actually this all your every organization has their own window authentication people, LDAP team and all that. So they will take care of it. Like if you want to configure the LDAP, so you can ask your LDAP administrator. So he can provide you the required information and LDAP account can be configured. The best straightforward method is username and password authenticated in the ServiceNow itself. Okay, but in addition to that, you will have all these options available. Depending on what your organization is using, you will be able to use it. So what type of authentication method is there in your organization, Nick?
So for my school, we use dual factor with, so they'll send us a text message with a code.
Okay.
So that would fall under multi-factor, I believe.
All right. All right. Yeah, means I have not configured O authentication at any time, but I know like LDAP and all these things, but not this one. But anyway, means if you know that and you authentication is used by in your organization, maybe in the ServiceNow documentation you can read more about it if you are interested. Okay, so user concept is clear. It is a record in the sys_user table. Okay, similarly there is a group. There is a group form, and the associated table in the database for group is sys_user_group. This is the name of the table where all the group information is stored. What is group? Group is a collection of user who shared the common purpose, like approve change request, have incident assigned to them, receive email notifications, etc. So example is training group, service desk, chat support, database support, network team, right? You have facility, account, HR. These are all the examples of group. So when you create the group, while you are defining the user record, the user is automatically added to that group. So you can create the user, and once you complete the user creation, you can create the group from there itself, from the user form itself, that I want to create the group. So when you create the group in that way, the group which you are creating from the user form will automatically assign that user group to that user. Okay, we'll see that when we'll do the lab practical. That time I will show you how it is being associated. Okay, but if you create the group from there, it will automatically assign that group to the user. So that is one part. Group characteristics. So when you create the group, user can belong to more than one group. Means you will be a part of your one user can be a member of WAN support group as well as LAN support group. Fine, because he may be a user of, he may be a part of more than one group. It is possible. If some person has the knowledge of SQL Server database and Oracle database, then he can be a member of both the group. He can work on incident, Oracle related incident. He can work on the MS SQL server related incident. So he could be a member of more than one group. Group makes permission management easier. Group are assigned role. So first sentence I already told you in the morning, right? You have thousands of users in the system, in the organization. And if you started managing the permission based on the individual user, then it will be a tedious job. So rather than what we are making, we are giving the permission to the group, and we are assigning the user in that group. We are associating the user with that group. So when the user, you can either you can add the user in that group, you can remove the user from that group, but that group is the permission is based on always on the group. Okay, so the basic idea is it makes the permission management easier. Okay, that is the idea. And groups are assigned the role. So role is another layer above the group. So all the permission model is based on the role. Okay, so if you see the permissions of any application, it is given to the role. Okay, see the admin role, the user role, the configuration management role. So this role is having permission on the application. The group are mapped to the role, and group consists of user. Okay, this is how it works. Maybe in the coming 2-3 slide, I will explain you again with the help of some pictorial this one, or I will take you right now there. Okay, so group, uh, if I take you there little bit forward, this is that slide. So map user to group to role. This is three-way kind of things. So the preferred method of assigning role to the user is add the user to the group that have been assigned the desired role. So when you assign the user to a group, the user inherits that group role. And when you remove the user from the group, the roles are revoked from the user. This method make the managing role much easier than assigning the role to the individual user. So this is how you work. So you have user. Here I show only one user, but there could be more than one user here. Okay, so maybe I will modify this diagram little bit later, not now. So there are more than one user which are part of group. So group consists of more than one user. You can see here. No, sorry, the diagram is correct. This is one user. User assign user to the group. So group consists of two or more user, and you are mapping the group to the role, and the application has a permission based on the role. So this is how you link user to the application permission. Okay, this diagram making more sense compared to the earlier one.
Yep, that's nice and clear.
Okay, good. Let me a little bit show it here because, okay, good. So this is how it works. So user group consists of multiple user. We are mapped the group to the role, and all permission to the application are based on the role. This is how the permission model is about the ServiceNow. Okay, so we talked about this. We talked about this. Okay, group establishment. Group can be import from the corporate directory from LDAP. Means if you want to create the group, if you already have some group in your LDAP directory, you can import it from there. A group is a part of hierarchy, and the user is part of the group. We already talked about it. Create the new group in ServiceNow manually. So you can also go to the group form and create the group. I will show you in shortly how it can be created. Why uses group? It assign permission to approve, change, or resolve the incident and request. So all the assignment in the ServiceNow is to the group. So when the incident get created, is assigned to the group. When the permission to the if change request is created, you can assign the change request to the group. You can, when the incident is resolved, you can assign it to the group. The request can assign to the group. Okay, identify the subset of user based on the role. So basically the you groups is nothing but the subset of a role, because you can have more than one group mapped to the role. Okay, then provide a reference for alert and notifications. So sometime if you want to send the alert or notification to the group, that time also group is useful, because you don't need to send the notification to 100 people. If there are 10 or 100 people in one group, you can just send one notification to the group, and the system will distribute it to all the group member. Receive email notification, same as that. So you can send the mail to the group, and all the member of that group will get that notifications. So it make it easy for the system. The performance wise also it is improved, because system don't need to send 100 or 10 email. It will just send one email to the group, and then it will be distributed to all the people. Group names are unique in ServiceNow. So when you create the group, whatever group name you are giving, that should be unique. Okay, there is no group ID or something. It is the group name should be unique when you are creating the group. All right. Any question on this slide?
Nope, that one's pretty clear.
Okay. Now comes to the role. A role is also there is a table in the backend for the role also. What is that? The role is one record in the sys_user_role. This is the name of the backend table. So if you go to the ServiceNow database, you will see the table name with this. So when somebody create a role, it will actually create one record in this particular table. A role is a persona that is assigned to a group or a single user. A user can be assigned more than one role. Okay. One correction here, like here I shown you only group can map to the role, but individual user can also be mapped to the role. Technically, there is no restriction that only group can map to the role. Even I can map one individual user to the role, but as a best practices, you should always follow this chain, because it will make the user management, the permission management easy. Okay. So you technically you can map the group and role to the group and user to the role, but ServiceNow or any good practice of ITSM suggests that you should always map group to the role, not the individual. Technically, even though it is possible, system will allow you to do that, but as a best practices, don't do it. Okay. A role is a group of permissions. Each role grant permission to the part of the subsystem. A role may contain another role. Yeah, that is, the things are a bit more complex. One role can contain another role. That is also possible. The cascading of role is possible, but again, as a best practices, unless it is very necessary, absolute necessary, don't do that, because that will make the permission model more complex. Okay. So try to avoid it. Whenever there is no option, you will won't have any other way out, then only you should cascade the role. Otherwise, don't do that, because later on it will be difficult for you to manage. Okay. So that is for the role. A role is a collection of permission which is used to grant the access to the application and other part of the system, and it will also assign for the security control. So once you have that role, you will have access to the part or sub part of the system along with that. Okay. Now out of box, there are some inbuilt roles are there, like system administrator is a role which is inbuilt. It is at the time of when you install the ServiceNow or when you get the access to the instance, this system admin role is already created. A system administrator role has access to all the system feature, application, function, and data. So full access. Okay. It is full access role. So if you do anything with this, the thing should work. Now it is a good practice that if something is not working, like if some user come and complain you that I'm not able to do this, or I'm getting this error, or this is not working for me, the best practice is you should first log in as a system admin, see if it is working or not. If it is not working with the system admin permission also, it means that it is the code is something wrong, or the functionality which you have developed is not correct. If it is working with service admin account, it means that there is some permission issue. Okay. It means that the user who is trying to do that, he do not have the required permission, and that is why it is not working for him. And when you log in as a system admin, the things are working fine. It means that it is a permission issue, right? Making sense? Hello?
Sorry. Yeah, making sense so far.
Yes. Now, specialized administrator, the role which are managed to the specific application. So system admin have full access to the entire application, whereas specialized administrator has access or same role, means they are also have a kind of system admin, but it is for specific application, not for the all the application, for the all instance on that all the application on that instance. So they are doing the same role as system administrator, but their scope is limited to the specific application. Okay. Then ITIL fulfiller is called as ITIL role. So role fulfill ITIL activities associated with the ITIL workflow. So the people who can open the incident, who can modify the incident, he can create the change request, who can create the problem ticket, all these are but nothing but the ITIL or fulfiller role. So these are the people who are working in the service desk, L1, L2, L3, that kind of people. Okay. Then another role is approver. So can perform all the requested action and view and or modify the request directed to the approver. So for example, if you create a change request and you submit it for approval, so these are the people who can approve or reject the request. Okay. There are a lot of other configuration required. but in order to approve or reject the request, they should be having this role. Then employee self-service, this is another role. So all end users, maybe they are from account, they are from HR, they are from marketing, they are from finance, they are from facility, all these end user. Okay, if you are working in a security, physical security department, and if your printer is not working, you can raise a ticket saying that my printer is not working. So you are logging in there as a requester, employee self-service role. So every person in the organization should have this role. User have no associated role, but can submit the request and manage their own request, access public pages, etc. So these are very simple end user. I don't know anything. I'm working in a HR. Okay, I am not a technical person, but my printer is not working. So I want to raise a request saying that my printer is not working. So you can raise a request if the print in the printer, if the ink cartridge is empty, or if the ink cartridge is damaged, you can say, okay, I want my printer doesn't have the ink cartridge, you please replace it. So all this type of request they can raise, they can manage their request, they can see the status if they want to change, add some information in the request, right? For example, if the printer is not working, they raise the request, and then later on they want to say, okay, this is the error message I am displaying on the printer screen. So they can take the screenshot, or they can take the photograph, they can attach it to the ticket and send it. So they can modify, giving some additional information to the ITIL people. So these are the people who are L1, L2, L3 support people. These are the people who are the end user, who are raising the request and submitting it to them. And these people will resolve their issues, work on the tickets and all this thing. Okay, clear all these 5 roles?
Yep.
And here is that detail. Who is the system administrator, who are the fulfiller, who are the ESS or requester, and who are the approver. Okay, like requester, as I said, now in your case, maybe this fulfiller and requester are more important people, because you are playing both the role sometime, right? User
Probably will be, yeah.
Yeah, fulfiller and requester. So you should know what requester is requesting, what is the role required to them. So user and the end user who have limited access to the data and feature of the ServiceNow, they use the service catalog and self-service application. We'll be seeing that is the next module, requester console. They can make a request only on their own behalf and are not assigned role. There is no, only one role is required, ESS. So that one role is sufficient for them to raise the incident. And fulfiller, user have clearly defined the path and workflow in the system and have one or more role. So these people can have one or more role. If I'm working on a change request, then I have different role. If I'm working on incident, I have different role. Okay, so they can access all the functionality based on the assigned role. So if I assign all, if I have all change related role, change management, then I can open the change request, I can modify it, I can move the change request from one state to another. But I cannot do anything for the incident, because that is not my role given to me. So based on the role which is given to you, it will you will be able to create the different functionalities. So fulfillers have one or more role, more than one approver underscore user role. Okay, so they can have more than one role. If you they can also be approver. Fulfillers have one or more role other than the approver user role. So if you are working in a change as well as incident area, so you will have both the role, incident role as well as change role. Okay, and these are the inbuilt role. Few things I will not take this, because this is a very core admin concept. So I will just, because I don't want to make the things more complicated. Okay, that is the reason I will just skip couple of slides. I already show you this, right? So now any question on user, group, role, anything? Is the thing structure clear?
Yeah, it's pretty clear right now. I don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay. All right. So now let's come to the lab related to this. So in this lab, we are talking about how to add the new user, how to add the new group, how to associate the user with the group, how to assign the role to the new group, and how to create the assignment rule. So this is all the lab exercise which we are going to see in this lab. So let me share the screen completely and I will show you how to do it in the lab. Here, share screen, share, and where is my lab? This is the, now can you see my lab as well as the PPT? Both?
Yep, I can see them both.
Okay, great. Okay, so add yourself as a user. So you first you can create your own user for you guys. So you can go to the user administration and under that there is a users module. So I'll just go here, user administration, user. It's pretty slow. So this is the user form we have open list. I want to create the new user. So I will just click on new button. I will create my username, for example. Okay. Password, you can type some password here. So here I have given us very simple password, but as per the new version now, it will not take this simple password. You have to type the password something different. So I will type the password like P capital ASSW0RD@123. Okay, this is the password we will be typing for all the users which we are creating. Clear? Password will not be simple. It will be P capital ASSWORD@123 because there is some password specific rule are in force in the new version and it will not accept this simple password. So that is the reason you need to change the password to password P capital @123. And email ID you can create here. This is the email. It is PRADIP, that is my first name @cloudd.com. This is my email address. Okay. Here if you see, nothing is like compulsory field. It is active. The status of this record is active. So when it create, it is available for the user and you don't see anything here right now. Okay, nothing is there. I create a basic information and I will save this information. Okay, I will save this record. I will go here, save it. Once I create this record, a primary email device created, this message will come up. If you just go down, now you will see this was not there earlier. Have you noticed that? This part?
Yes.
It is when you save the record, then only it is available. Now this user belongs to which group? Nothing is here. Because right now I have not associated this user with any of the group. This user is not belong to any role because I have not associated him with any role. Okay. So right now this user get created. Now if I create the group from here, then whatever group I will create, this user will automatically associated with this group. Okay. So let create the group from here. So this is how you can either create the group, you can create the role, you can create the delegate, subscription and all that stuff. So how to associate the group to the new user? You can add the new group from here. Group automatically associate with the new group. So I will go to the group form and here I have option new. So I will click on the new. It will open the group form. Here I will create the new group. The new group name is Z Cloud Admin. Okay, so name Z Cloud Admin. I will just put one here because I might have already created